look better than I thought I would. That's what I say.
Hello, it's KRBrickBot, and we're on to the third of the brand new revival of the Tobot 2023 trio, Tobot Z. I may or may not sprinkle his iconic verbal tics throughout the entire review. Again, I talked about the box in the Tobot X review. The variation, of course, being the primary color red. Not a stark red, I guess a bit of a orangish red, dark orangish red. If you can see from here, it's that dynamic slant of the packaging. Yeah, there's the Tobot Z, and there's Simo or Dylan looking handsomer than ever, with the horizontal toe phone and Tobot Z there. That identical cross-cell for the third time. Yeah, Tobot Z portrait, the same blue Z. And the back photo, although kind of looks like it was cropped from some lighted photo, like some bit of a bluish tint lighting on the side here. It kind of looks like from a night photo that was just cropped out. Tobot Z Hyundai Staria, and there's the Koroyd. Same here, model new Tobot Z. Named Tobot Z from February 23. Just using all the ties, the stretchy ties, the rubber ties, the twist ties. Bonus! An unboxing of the original Kia Tobot Z, the international version imported from China. Yeah, I just bought this to compare with the new toy. Yeah, that style of packaging where he just tied up there. And I guess his kibble is stuck back there, so I'm gonna have to cut that. Yep. Inserted into the robot's posterior. Yep, imported parts included. They could have packed this better in a better box, like, you know, more air padding, but... The new Tobot Z is now a Hyundai Staria, the successor of the Star X. Yeah, after their 2018, I guess, the new 2021 model. Yeah, so they are both vans, like the van types. I guess it does have a similar layout of the 3 doors and windows. Yeah, I guess, you know, it is a van. I mean, there's not much to it except for the curvature, I guess. The Staria is rolling out in Asia, Southeast Asia, Australia, but not the USA. This new model is certainly looking very futuristic with that narrow LED headlight, just one single strip line. And that grille type. Yeah, that very nice pattern mesh grille with the Tobot Z logo printed on there. The shaping of the grills and these big LED headlights on the side and the shape of the alloy wheels does indicate this is actually a premium model of the Staria. Not just the typical wagon or van models. The back does recreate that shape, I guess, with the window and the lower area just to kind of blend into one. With the raised Hyundai logo here and the raised letters Tobot Z. It is looking pretty plain though. I mean, you know, there's only the shape of the rear tail lights, but none of those fancy LED shapes or printing. Not even license plate here. Believe it or not, I would like some stickers. From the side of the vehicle, the robot's seam lines might be a little confusing for visual flow. I mean, this seam line matches up here with this door, but then there's a cut right in here for this door. Also, obvious transformation hinge bulging out like that. I mean, there really is no other way to do it unless it's a double hinge inside, which also looks unsightly. But what you gonna do? Also, yeah, the extra front window here, and also very big and thick side mirrors. Those are not going to accidentally break off. And as with the licensed Tobots, this is a squish stylized Staria, especially with the bigger rear wheels when they should be the same size. Such a bigger mudguard and such. But since this is a boxy van, it's not that noticeable it's been squished. The top of the van has the typical van stylings, like the painted, this is pretty painted red actually. Yeah, but you know, the top bars here, the ridges here, and the antenna, and obvious robot hinges. It may be odd that Z is now a van whose main function is to carry a lot of passengers. We stand red vans instead of an SUV, a sports utility vehicle like he usually was. Yeah, so, but they're still red. I guess they're still red, even though a red Staria does not actually exist in real life, so Z gets to keep his original colors, but Axe doesn't. But even though the new van might not be so suited for off-road anymore, or walls, I guess the new form does still kind of have that spirit, that rugged spirit of Z, the rugged adventurous crawling type, I guess. Also, they are both squish proportions, but they don't look that much egregiously squished as the other two Tobots. And of course, it's easy to notice how much downsized this new Z is, whether you want to chalk it up to budget or something. At least this has the better, shinier plastic instead of this pretty matte plastic that was similar to the original X and Y toys. But somehow, this original Z toy, the full-size one, managed to get an international release, but poor old X and Y didn't because they were just so old and frail and fragile. I measured the scale. The original Sportage Tobot Z was more of a 1/18th scale, just for my width, and for the new Staria Z, it is more of a 1/24. So they do fit into the two main scales of cars, at least. That's nice. Also, point being, it looks like this is more decorated, especially with the silver and the additional stickers, which I applied freshly. These are fresh new stickers. Yeah, the fog lights, the tail lights. Yeah, I mean, these things are gonna most likely to peel off, but that's for the future. And then also a nice Z engine sticker there. Yeah, just tiny little stickers to just decorate a bit more, while this one that gets nothing. Yeah, this would have been really neat to have. For the Z transformation. Yeah, the first thing you should do is just fold out these 180. Hence these hinges. Yeah, you can fold that down, and the feet are a bit complicated. You fold these out to the back, and then fold these feet forward, and then 180 hinges. Don't forget these tiny little back heels. That helps with the A-stand. Yeah, just split it along, rotate. This is pretty neat. Yeah, you slide this and then fold it over. Slide and go forward. And then, yeah, the extra panel that folds back to its arm. This is pretty loose, double hinge. Yeah, make sure there's a little tab here that you tab right into his wrist here. It's not a solid snap, it just kind of holds into place with the friction hinge. Yeah, so Tobot Z's certainly been lifting, because he's gotten much stockier. Yeah, I guess with the classic car chest, but especially those short, stocky legs, and those big, wide arms, and those big hands. I guess even though silver on his rounded forearms, they do kind of look like bandages. Yeah, but compared to the other two, I guess just the arms, the arms are really bulked up, and I guess that really does give him a different feel. Kind of, he's like the strong guy, even though that's Axe's thing. But to be fair, the original Z was also pretty jacked and swole. Yeah, I mean, that really buff chest. But I guess the new Z has a more evenly balanced body shape. Yeah, with the thicker arms. Even though he might have gotten shorter legs instead of his better toned muscular legs of the original Z. It really does feel like this new Z is like a fusion of the previous two forms. It has the original Z's like collapsing wheels to form the torso, as with the white midriff and the classic car chest. And the two Z's that form the size of his head. And the Z belt buckle, the golden Z belt buckle, which is actually metallic gold on the international version of the old toy, unlike the chrome gold of the original toy. And it has the arm transformation of the Adventure Z, like the entire front of the roof forming the arms and then collapsing over them each other so that the kibble cleans up nicely. So there is no back kibble, no back kibble here. Just hollow bits without anything to cover it really, and some little tilting jump jets, I guess. Haven't really seen these in the show. But yeah, it has the Avenger Z style of arms that clean up the kibble nicely. Does not apply to this mini version. It's just turtle shell. Some rather simple detailing and greebling and venting of the legs, and yeah, of course they are short legs. You may not like the legs. I guess he's short because to match the... I guess he might be shorter to match the proportions of the arms. But I guess it does look a little weird. But I guess he may look a little weird. I guess he may look a little weird being the shortest of the new Tobot toys. If this was a real proportion Staria, there would have been enough length to go into longer legs, just saying. The head has a different look to Z. It kind of looks like it's a big warrior's helmet with a symmetrical Z styling right across here, as with a red band. And a white faceplate does accentuate it nicely. Yeah, so that helmeted look is certainly a different look from his more organic looking original head. With a bit of a tiny visor and mouthplate combo. Or the Adventure Z's more visored face with a more rounded head. Koroid mode. Attached with these clipped circular pegs in his feet. Yep, so he has slit eyes and mouth. Yeah, kind of looks like a, sleepy expression. And it is a red Z with a blue gemstone-like thing across it. Yeah, that is a really asymmetrical design. And I thought this thing at first was like a extra energy patch applied after taking damage. But I think that is part of his original design, so that's pretty unique. Though his head is much noticeably bigger compared to his animation model. Articulation versus articulation. So it's a full head swivel, though the sides of the head do clash with the shoulders, so watch out for that then. Neck up due to the Koroid and transformation. Similar to his boss socketed head of the old toy. Soft ratchet shoulders all around. 3 interval clicks. That's 9 clicks outward. All the way out, thanks to these upper mounted shoulders. Pretty similar to these shoulders. They can go out pretty nicely. And ratchet all around with one plastic ratchet that kind of flexes and therefore it's looser one way than the other. But holds pretty well. An obtuse 2-click knee bend. An obtuse 2-click elbow bend. And biceps swivels, soft ratcheted for transformation. Of course, nothing here, but he does have a deeper 90-degree elbow bend. I guess transformational backwards butterfly shoulders, though this one got looser. Similar to these 2 beams backward transformational shoulders. Just directly perpendicular for a little jab. A ratcheted thigh swivel all around. Not for transformation. Just like the old toy. Ratcheted leg forward. And backward that much. And nice spreads. And a thigh swivel. Also not part of transformation. And a 90-degree bend there. And a toe down. Whatever good that is. So he does have good ratchet forward, but it's pretty soft ratchets. They just keep flopping. This much outward, not much outward. No thigh swivels. Oh, and I feel like Hasbro quality ratchet knees at less than 90. And at least there's a foot in with these soft ratchets and a pretty loose heel. Yeah, just tiny feet for such a macho man. Somehow he had a pretty good parts budget to have both bicep and thigh swivels. And a waist swivel, so he pretty much has the full articulation of a modern Transformer toy, except for the wrists and ankles, but that's not really important. Yeah, so he can pull off some good poses. I guess all three of these new Tobots are pretty functional. But Z here is the most functional with the most articulation. Yeah, just, nice articulation all around those basic points there. So that's great to have with this toy. Yeah, I guess a bit of a stylistic change from what we're used to, but still Z. I mean, it is still a great character. It's just straight character design. I think he has more intricately sliding and folding parts than the other two Tobots, but this is a pretty tactile transformation that's pretty straightforward to get to and back once you've got the hang of it. Unlike the original Z toy, which does require a whole lot of fiddling and then just aligning all those little parts to get into each other just right, just flexing the tabs, putting them over one another, making sure the windscreens and the fenders don't collapse inward as you transform it. That must have been pretty frustrating for a kid. End result is pretty great, but it was pretty frustrating and challenging to get there. I do remember the Adventure Z's transformation being much simpler than the original Z, and I guess it is on par with the new Z's transformation. Yeah, so the new updated version of Staria Z is a pretty new take, for a different type of vehicle, but still a very good toy. Yeah, still a very good toy and very good transformation and articulation at that. Also a solid recommend. But as for the character, and minor spoilers for the new Tobot show, or this is a recap for you Tobot toy enjoyers but don't have time for the show. Z took a pretty critical, nearly fatal hit from his first battle, so he was just forced to stay home, and the only solution to save him is to move his compound essence from his mind core to a new core, which Dylan did not want to risk losing any of it. And so introduced a new character, Korean named Hansu, who was also going through, I guess, a similar thing, and then he found out the secret of Z, and then they became secret friends. And I guess Semo learns to overcome the fears and to take risks and to put in some trust. You could take that story as simple tropes at face value, or you could look at the societal psychiatric relatability of the kids that might go through feelings of loneliness and the fear of losing someone. So the new show part 1 is Z's story as a shift to a new status quo, having 2 pilots, like co-pilots. See, this is the heartfelt, emotional, engaging storytelling for all ages Tobot was sorely missing. For the past Tobot Galaxy detectives, most all of them were basically like, "Hi, I'm a fancy new Galaxy Tobot that just existed. I have cool superpowers." And then getting their tailpipes kicked off it until they get supercharged and just obliterate the villain and solve the mystery. And that's about it. And an occasional witty banter, but... So, if you fancy any of these new Tobot toys, you could always be impatient and get them now from Korea for like nearly $70 each, with shipping. Or you could wait like 1 to 2 years for the international versions of these Tobots to be released. And then a whole nother year in the USA, because that is really unreliable. So what are the next toy waves for this new Tobot reboot? Well, of course there's going to be the mini version of these, and then limited edition Ridecos that were shown at the Seoul Auto Show, but there currently is no info on how they'll be released or when. White, titanium, and black, pretty nifty, pretty spiffy premium colors. Yeah, just like those old Tobot days where they had limited edition Ridecos. And then the part 2 of the new series introduces all new Tobots, all new rescue vehicles. I guess it's nice to have some new additions to the classic Tobots, as well as the returning ones. Yeah, but I'm sure the fans are still waiting for more older ones to return in some form. And I guess they're blaming Young Toys for their priority to sell new toys first. I know there's still fans of the old Tobot feed because they had much more variety coming from the most recognizable worldwide Korean Transformer toy brand. In Korea, there's a whole variety of various different franchises from different companies. That's really a lot of competition. But internationally, there's still mostly Hasbro versus everyone else. Hopefully, the consumers will financially support the return to form of Tobot, and that Young Toys and RetroBot can have a good balance between the selling the new toys and engaging stories. But until the next Tobot toys, Tobot is really back.